Please enjoy this message from David Arquette sent in by the fabulous Carrie Tenney.
Hey Ryan, how are you? Thanks for doing the Scream podcast.
Like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
You are listening to Scream with Ryan C. Showers, the podcast for Scream fans just like you. Join Ryan every week as he takes a deep dive into the horror film series that defined the 90s and redefined the genre. Scream with Ryan C. Showers is your source for scene and quote analysis, character dissections, and the latest news about upcoming installments of the Scary Movie franchise.
I hear you like horror movies, Curly, but do you like them as much as him?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Scream with Ryan C. Showers. I'm your host, Ryan C. Showers. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. In the lead up to Scream 7, I couldn't be more grateful for everybody out there who listens to the show, who supports my podcast here, listening every episode, or on social media on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. If you would like to become a member of the podcast, come to the group Zooms, be on the show on a one-on-one or small group setting, consider joining the Patreon with Scream with Ryan C. Showers. In addition to the benefits of coming on the podcast, you can also join our social media groups, in particular on Instagram. That's the main hub of the podcast. I also do a monthly audio commentary of a Scream movie or a Scream-related film. From now through April, we are going to be having a new Scream movie audio commentary. So if you would like to hear my thoughts in an audio commentary form in the style of Wes Craven, Marion Maddalena, et al. Of the original trilogy, please consider subscribing and supporting the show. Thank you to Fernando, aka FND Prescott, on Instagram and Twitter for helping me manage my social media and the news about everything Scream. Thank you to every single person out there who subscribes on Patreon. Specifically, I need to thank my Daddy Ghost Faces and Stab investors over at Patreon. Starting out strong, we have Carrie Tenney, our Mama Ghostface, Corey Wilson, Brett Janovich, and Andrew Dominguez. And then we have Kevin Abner, Ali, Roy Garza, Josh Carr, Mark Rim, PWO5, Gustavo Mora, Mark Vieira, Scream Queens Podcast, both Josh and Justine, Joey Nobarini, aka The Vault, Christian Ranke, Stevie Shears, The Horror Project Podcast, David D, Jess Mariano, Sam Levy, Tamika Jones, Ryan Not Diane Young, and Josh Calamari. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Scream with Ryan C. Showers. I'm your host, Ryan C. Showers. Thank you for joining me for today's show. This is episode 288, so I'm going to let you in on a little secret I have. Episode 300 is going to be me reviewing Scream 7. It's going to be the first review after the movie comes out. It should be up that Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I'm not sure when. It just depends on how my weekend goes, the weekend that the movie comes out. But that is kind of the benchmark. So, we are going to be getting Scream 7 at episode 300. So from now on, every time you listen to an episode and you see the episode number, it's kind of like a countdown. Today is 288. That means we only have less than 12 episodes to go before you're hearing me review Scream 7, my thoughts on the movie, and just we're living in a different world. And I kind of did this strategically. Episode 150, we got the news that Neve Campbell and Kevin Williamson would be taking on Scream 7. So from episode 150 in March of 24 through now, through February of 2026, this is the leading up to Scream 7. We have all the pieces. We knew Neve, we knew Kevin, and it was just a matter of getting from those two and just the fact of the basic ingredients to the final movie and kind of living this experience. And it's kind of crazy to think about. So there will have been 150 episodes of this time. So episode 150 to 299 is the pre-Scream 7 era. And then episode 300 and onwards will be the post-Scream 7 era. Episode 150 to 299 will be the Scream 7 pre-era, and episode 300 will mark the next chapter of the podcast. Anyways, folks, so today we are doing an episode about the marketing of Scream 7. And because we don't have a second trailer yet, we may not get one, who knows? And at this point, we don't have the character posters. I almost took this episode off of the schedule, but I am glad that I didn't because we had a really nice discussion about the marketing thus far, what fans do and don't want. So the way I see the Scream fandom, there are two big camps that a lot of people fall into. The first one is we don't want any more new footage from the trailer. We don't want any spoilers. We want things to be kept under lock and key. We want a lot of marketing. We want it to be sold to the public, but we don't want spoilers out there. Respect it, okay? Then there's the second camp where it's like people are dying for any bit of new footage we can get. Not maybe from a spoilers perspective, maybe not, but there are some people out there who really do want a second trailer and a third trailer and just want more and more and more. And it's funny because I put up a poll on Patreon and I asked everybody, do you want a second trailer? And the answers, I was expecting the majority of people in the group to say, yes, I do. I was expecting maybe like a 70-30 result. I myself voted yes. I would love to see another trailer just for the excitement. I do think that generally more is better, but I definitely understand the perspective of like, we don't want spoilers. And I especially respect it and would agree with the decision if like, Paramount Spyglass, they're concerned about the Melissa Barrera toxic people online who are actively trying to spoil the movie for people and just trying to detract any bit of success the movie can get. So I think we need to remember that we are not marketing experts. We are just fans with our own priorities. I am going to defer to the marketing team of Paramount. If they've done the calculations and they think that like it is too much of a risk to put out another trailer, if they would show too much or reveal too much about the plot and they want to keep it kind of secretive until the end, I think that they should do it. Especially if you have online political activist groups actively trying to harm the movie, it's like, get a fucking life, you losers. So, but I do sense a palpable fear among the fandom that maybe the marketing could be more prominent. And here is like the secret key of why Scream fans are having this big discussion is because there is this inherent fear in a lot of us about a future Scream movie reiterating the mistakes of Scream 4, where the marketing was lackluster. It wasn't overexposed. Most people didn't even know that Scream was happening again. It wasn't sold to the public in a big way, and that in the same way that, say, Scream 5 and 6 did when they came back and like revitalized the franchise. We were inundated with Scream 5 and 6 content upon those releases. That being said, Scream 4 haunts people. Just think about this. So, the domestic box office for, the original trilogy, it was the first two movies in the 90s made over $100 million each. The third movie made $90 million. 5 made over 80, and 6 actually holds the record for the highest box office gross at $108 million right now in the domestic box office. Scream 4, on the other hand, only has 38. It is such a steep dip compared to the other film's successes. We're all trying to avoid it. I think that like in retrospect, a lot of people have assigned the marketing of Scream 4 as the major problem with it. I think that there were other bigger things about Scream 4 that didn't allow it to completely flourish. I don't think that it was perhaps the right time for Scream 4 to come out. But regardless, no one wants a Scream movie to be marketed badly. And unfortunately, because Scream 4 performed so poorly, it's given a lot of ammo to people who are anti-Nev, who are, pro-Melissa, pro-boycott Scream 7, to instill fear in us that, yeah, your movie is going down. It's not. Like, it's completely ridiculous. Like, there's no universe that Scream 7 makes $17 million opening weekend and it tops off at $38 million like Scream 4 did. Like, that's just not going to happen. That's so unrealistic. It's more likely that Scream 7 will make $38 million in its opening weekend than it is to make $38 million overall. Like, that is completely absurd. But regardless, I think a lot of us had expectations that January 1st, we would be bombarded with new Scream 7 marketing materials every day. And it hasn't happened that way. They've been somewhat quiet the month of January. We got a new TV spot. We have a new poster with the cast on it. We have a new fan poster made by Creepy Duck Designs that the studio has endorsed and made a part of the marketing materials for the official film. We got a really nice social media ad with like all of the ghost faces that have ever been in a Scream movie just this week. So I think that people have just been expecting like every single day we would be getting stuff, and that's just not the reality. And like, I think that like, for a campaign like that, that would be more suited to a movie like Scream 5, right? Where you were coming back after 11 years and you were trying to reintroduce Scream to the general public. And that's not the case. We've had 2 movies recently. People know Scream, and people are aware of it. People are interested in Scream. So now it's just, you kind of get to skip that preamble, if you will, for marketing a movie like Scream 7. That is the third movie in this new era. You get to just focus on your movie. So in my mind, they've been saving all of their marketing push for the final month before the release. And that's what they should do. I mean, like, we live in a society where attention spans are so short to begin with, but also, like, you want to hit people when it matters. And it matters when they're going to pay to go see a movie and when the movie actually comes out, not 6 months before. So I say just continue to give them time. And my friend Tristan actually did this deep dive investigation into the marketing of Screams 5, 6, and 7, all under Paramount and Spyglass. And here is what he found, just to kind of give a perspective here. Because, like, I've been wondering, like, as I didn't have the official dates in front of me. We know that we're getting the trailer. We know that we're getting a cast poster. We know that we're getting the individual character posters. We know the TV spots. We know the pattern. But sometimes, like, in our heads, I think it can get distorted. And a part of me has wondered, well, maybe this is kind of the same time frame that the other movies were. It just doesn't feel like it because we've been waiting so long for Scream 7. We've been almost waiting. It's going on 3 years. Melissa was let go in 2023. We got Scream 6 in 2023. It's a long time, and there's just been a lot of emotional highs and lows during that period, and we're all ready for it, right? Whereas with Scream 6, it was almost like this instant gratification thing where, we saw Scream 5 in January of 22, and then bam, January 23, we get Scream 6, and we didn't have to wait very long at all. So I think that's part of why people have been kind of crazy this last month, which is like, we all just want to see more and more and more. We want the movie to come. We want the marketing to come. And so I think it's both. I think it's, this kind of warped perception in our head because we've just been waiting around for it so long. But two, I think it's also just the anxiety, of we don't want a Scream 4 scenario. Like, if you listen back to the first 30 episodes of the show, we talked about Scream 4's box office result so many times leading up to Scream 5, praying that it wouldn't be the case. And back then, there was no controversy. There was no Melissa Barrera leaving the franchise because of her political opinions on Instagram. So imagine just having such a poor box office result and then adding something like this on top of it. So, no wonder people are kind of scared. If you care about the franchise and you care about Sidney and you care about Nev, you can only feel scared whenever you're not getting that instant gratification. So, because we know it will be horrible for Scream 7 to do poorly and then for everyone to point the finger at Nev and Kevin and say, you guys are a disaster. You need to leave the franchise you created so that we can make room for new weird stories that you guys don't want, but we do. That's what would result if there was a flop with Scream 7 at the box office, unfortunately. That would be the discourse. And if it would do poorly, that discourse already exists. that is the entire Melissa Barrera thing. That is the Gen Z thing. That is the Scream 6 fan thing. And if Scream 7 didn't do well, that point of view would gain strength as though it is time to move on. Scream doesn't have to be Neve Campbell and Kevin Williamson's franchise. It should be changed and morphed entirely. I completely disagree with that. So, but just to calm everyone's fears, my friend Tristan on Twitter at BritneyVinyl, he is mostly on Twitter. He is Twitter famous for his Scream updates. We saw it with Scream 6 and then now with Scream 7. He and I were kind of like the duo that the Melissa people kind of hated on in the run up to Scream 7. They always said, Ryan C. Showers and BritneyVinyl, because he has been, like me, an outspoken supporter of the film of Neve Campbell and a critic of Scream 6. So Tristan did this big investigation into the marketings of Scream 5, 6, and 7, just to give everyone a perspective. And he laid it out really nicely. I'm going to read his post. And it actually reveals to me, we are right on track. It just, again, I don't think it feels like it because we've just been waiting around so long and we're anxious. So on 1/18, Tristan wrote this post on Twitter. So he says, there's still a lot of time for more Scream 7 marketing, with this movie generally being ahead of schedule compared to 5 and 6. I outlined the Scream 5, 6, and 7 marketing material and release dates and drops. We are now 40 days away from Scream 7. Scream 7 started marketing 120 days before the movie, whereas 5 generally started 96 days before and 6 86 days before. 7 started a whole month before 6 did. They most likely changed the schedule to appease us. Character posters debuted 42 days before Scream 5 and 25 days before 6. So character posters for 7 can drop anytime before Monday, February 2nd. Ticket sales happened 28 to 30 days before the movie, which also came with exclusive posters for Dolby and 4DX. This can happen next week on Wednesday, January 28th. As for TV spots and featurettes, multiple variations of 15 and 30-second TV spots for 5 and 6 started being released 36 days before release. For Scream 7, we could start getting more TV spots and ads starting this Thursday, January 2nd, which we didn't. I'm sitting here on Thursday, January 22nd, and it's not here yet. So, okay, back to his post. He says, Scream 5 had 5 featurettes released, but 6 only had 1. They saved them for the Blu-ray. So for Scream 7, we might only see 1 featurette a week before the movie. We can probably expect the Scream 7 marketing to really peak at the end of January, beginning of February, just like 5 and 6 started ramping up 30 to 25 days before. Scream 6 also released a new big game TV spot teaser on February 8th for the Super Bowl that Sunday, February 12th, 2023. Super Bowl this year is on February 8th, so we might get a Super Bowl drop on Wednesday, February 4th, right when marketing is supposed to peak. In the month leading up to the movie, 5 and 6 dropped many goodies such as character posters, Dolby poster, DX poster, creepy duck design posters, Demi soundtrack single, featurettes, TV spots, world premiere red carpet, and the final trailer. And then he provided a list of the different marketing materials and how many days before the release we received them. So let's do this. So for the teaser poster, for Scream 5, it came 96 days before release. For Scream 6, it came 86 days before release, and for 7, 120 days before release. So we got the poster for Scream 7 way earlier than we even did for Scream 5. Holy shit. Okay, interesting. So then the Entertainment Weekly photo stills. For Scream 5, it was 95 days. For Scream 6, it was 51 days. For 7, it was 120 days. Again, boom. Gosh, in retrospect, it just makes me feel like, wow, the day we got the trailer for Scream 7 back in October, that was just a magical day, wasn't it? Okay, so for the first trailer, for Scream 5, we got it 94 days before release. For Scream 6, it was 86 days before release. That was the teaser. And then 50 days for the main big plot trailer. And then for Scream 7, of course, it was 120 days. So here we go. This is interesting, folks. Again, Scream 7 is ahead of schedule. You are just paranoid. Calm down. So the Taylor Swift saga of the day should have been, you need to calm down. So the TV spot debut, listen to this. For Scream 5, it was 36 days before the release. For Scream 6, it was 30 days before the release. For Scream fucking 7, the TV spot we already saw, 45 days before release. Boom. Like we are 10, 15 days ahead of schedule for 5 and 6. Okay, for the cast poster, again, okay, wow. For Scream 5, it was 32 days before release. For Scream 6, it was 50 days before release. And for Scream 7, it was 44 days before release. So again, I guess the poster for 7 came later than the poster for 6 did, but well before the poster for 5 did. Interesting. So he says that various TV spots debuted for 5 and 6 30 days before release. So here we go. Again, just to reiterate, the character posters for Scream 5, they came 42 days before release. And for Scream 6, 25 days before release. So we have, a good over 30 days before the release. Again, to expect all the character posters right now would be way sooner than we got them for Scream 6. And that was, as I alluded to earlier, like the highest grossing Scream movie domestically, which pains me. That's also, I want Scream 7 to just completely top Scream 6 at the box office so that we have a good Scream movie as the highest grossing and not a dumb one. So, okay. Ticket sales, again, for Scream 5, 28 days. For Scream 6, 30 days. The Dolby poster, 29 days. Scream 6, 29 days. Blah, 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 blah. So, and the final trailer for 5 and 6, both released 3 days before the release. So that to me, I would, if we do get a second trailer, it would probably be like that. It would probably be the week of release just to kind of get new excitement and new blood out there. So yeah. So if I had to give my guess, I think the next big marketing thing is going to be not next week. I don't know why. I'm just thinking, but I think that the week after, the first week of February, I just think that that's going to be the week. I have a weird premonition. I think that's when the tickets are going to go on sale. I think we're going to get the character posters at that point. My guess is we'll probably get featurettes, probably mid-February. That makes sense to me. And so the creepy duck posters, here's an interesting fact that Tristan has here, that they were released 10 to 15 days prior to release. And for Scream 6, it was 14 days. So we've already gotten that too. That came this week. That came on Tuesday. So way ahead of schedule, a whole month earlier. So give them time, give them space. They got this. Here's the other thing too. I'm sorry, but being walking around in the world of businessmen, they do not like to lose money. They are not going to half-ass the marketing for whatever reason, because they're bored or because they didn't know better or because of fear. They want to make money. Spyglass and Paramount, they're not going to just like say, well, we spent all this money. We took all this time. We went through all this horrible PR. We're just going to roll the dice and just let Scream ride off of the coattails of its name IP. No, they are going to go balls to the wall. They want this to be a success. And frankly, I want this to be a success. I guess I didn't really verbalize it until just now, but it's like, damn, if Scream 7 has the potential to top Scream 6 at the box office in both the domestic and the international. And man, I really want that. Ugh, my new obsession. Okay, so, well, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this introduction. I'm going to turn it over to the group now. We had a group Zoom talking about the marketing materials that we've gotten so far and what people's thoughts are. And it's a really lovely time, really lovely group. So everyone, thank you for coming. And if you would like to come to events like this and be on the podcast for Scream 7 predictions, which is in the month of February, or the Scream 7 review in March, and then we'll probably do like our new Scream ranking for April. If you want to come to that, join the Patreon. Tiers 2 and above get you an invite pass to come to Zooms and be on episodes with me. So check it out. So if you've been on Instagram recently, you would notice that there is someone who is tagged in many of my posts. The account is FND Prescott. It's somebody named Fernando. They have been a huge help to me. They're kind of like my partner in crime, helping me kind of organize like social media posts. Fernando keeps like high tabs on everything Scream. He's really tuned into that, especially like the younger cast. Like he's a huge Isabel May fan, McKenna fan. So he and Michelle Randolph, like I barely know her name, and Fernando knows everything that she does. So anytime there's any bit of comment about Scream that she makes, Fernando is just like boom on it. But no, so I would need to give Fernando a huge shout out for helping me manage the social media lead up to Scream 7. He does wonderful graphic design too. Like he has made these collages of Sidney in each of the movies. We've done Scream 1 and Scream 2, and he's working on Scream 3 right now. He has really high quality photos, nice colors. He has a nice eye, in addition to just being kind of like plugged in and kind of understanding like the pop culture moment of Scream and like how the cast members are interacting out there in the world. So Fernando is actually, because he is like an Isabel May fan, I mean, he's liked Scream before. He kind of gives me like this hope, like, oh, wow, like there are people who are fans of Isabel May out there who are going to, help Scream, and come into the Scream world, for lack of a better phrase. So everyone, go follow Fernando. I mean, you literally can't miss him. I mean, he is tagged in basically 50% of my posts as a collaborator. He's really wonderful, and I'm really grateful to him for his help. And frankly, his positivity about Scream. It's interesting because like I met him just as an account out there in the world, like, ooh, he makes nice photos. And just hearing him talk about Scream from a positive place and anticipating Scream in a positive, pure way. There was no cynicism draped over him in terms of like, seeing all of the nasty Melissa Barrera people out there. He's just so excited for Scream 7. And I love that. And I love working with him. Thank you, Fernando, for helping the podcast. So I also need to thank some people over at Patreon for joining. So I need to thank Rogue Stanley. I need to thank Walter Sixsmith. I need to thank Andrew Dominguez for becoming a Daddy Ghostface. What? Hey, Daddy. I also need to thank Jeremy Stacy. I need to thank Joshua Rudolph. I need to thank Katie Taylor. So one last piece of news I want to tell everybody. So historically, this podcast has released on Tuesday mornings and without fail. For 5 years, that's what we did. And then I took over as the editor for the show. We started doing 2 episodes per week, and that started last April, May of 2025. And, you can say a lot of things about Ryan Showers, but you can't say he's not a consistent bitch. Every Tuesday and every Friday without fail, there I was bothering you, showing up in your podcast feeds. So, and you may have noticed recently that the podcast episodes have kind of been a little more all over the place, a little more scattered coming. We've literally had episodes released on like a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday. Literally, basically every day of the week in January, we've had a podcast released on at some point. It's been wild just because I've been trying to reach that episode 300 for the Scream 7 review. I've had a lot of like backlog of recordings that I've done with people that I really want to get out before the release of Scream 7 as well. But I'm kind of settling into a new schedule. I think going forward, we're going to be releasing episodes instead of Tuesday, Friday. We are going to shift a couple of days back. So I'm going to release the first episode of the week on Sunday evening at 7 p.m. And then the second episode will be on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. I have found, too, that people are a little bit more engaged at that time of day, and people seem eager to listen. I wake up and I'm just like, holy crap, so many people listened while I was asleep. But yeah, so that's probably going to be the new schedule going forward. I mean, there still may be some tinkering and emergency episodes as needed, but I think that we are going to settle into this new schedule of new episodes Sunday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. And if you want to listen to episodes ad-free, subscribe at Patreon and listen to everything ad-free. So, all right, everybody, please enjoy the rest of the episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Scream with Ryan C. Showers. I'm your host, Ryan C. Showers. Thank you for joining me for today's episode. We are talking about the marketing of Scream 7 thus far. I thoroughly expected us to have more to discuss. I thought that we would have a second trailer at this point. But I will tell you, the idea of a second trailer is kind of divisive. Some like it in theory, not execution. Some people just don't want to see any more. So I put up a Patreon poll and I asked everybody, do you want a second trailer to be released? And to my surprise, 50% of people said yes and 50% of people said no. Some people don't want to be spoiled. Some people think we've had enough. Personally, for me, as a fan, of course I want another trailer. I would love to see more footage. I'm excited and whatever. As a Scream podcast host, I say no because it's like, it's a lot to coordinate and it's a lot of stress to be like, oh my God, is the trailer coming today? And I have to stop my life. But also, just as a Scream cynic, a person observing out in the world, I think the beauty of that first trailer, it's kind of amazing what they did. We don't talk about it as much as we should, but they didn't show any other characters besides really like Nev and Courtney and Isabel, and briefly the twins, but nobody knew. And I think that's actually such a brilliant choice, it's just to focus on the central relationship of the story, as opposed to showing us each and every new cast member and, more speculation. And especially because there are people out there who are using what they see as spoilers to try to boycott the movie or try to ruin it for people who love Scream, which I think is ridiculous. You're not being an activist, you're being an asshole, in my opinion. And just for the record, because I get messages all the time, like literally I got 3 messages today along these lines saying, hey, Ryan, I think I saw spoilers. Someone commented on my post with spoilers for Scream 7. And here's what I say. I don't think that whatever the boycotter people are posting and whatever the Reddit people are posting, I think it's 100% accurate. I don't think it's even majority accurate. So go into the movie as though you've not been spoiled and try to have a good time and don't let these posts bother you. So regardless, in addition to trailer or no trailer, we have gotten a new TV spot. We've gotten 2 new posters as of this recording, January 20th, 2026. Today actually was the release of the Creepy Duck design poster, which no one has talked about on the podcast yet. And of course, we had the big cast poster that was released last week with Nev, Isabel, Courtney, Anna Camp, and the lot. And with that, now we are going to move it over to the group. I would love to hear what everyone has to say about this marketing. Feel free to discuss anything you want to discuss, whether it's the answer to the poll question or whether it is the any of the new posters we've gotten or whatever. I'm going to start first with Mr. Dead Noise. Chris Cooney, I haven't had you on in such a long time. This is so nice to see you.
It's nice to see you as well. It's nice to see everybody here tonight. Some of you probably for the first time, because I can't remember when I was last in one of these Zooms. It's easily over a year at this point. Answer the question. I was afraid I was going to be in the minority here, but it's nice to hear that the poll was 50-50 because personally, I'm okay with there not being a second trailer. I didn't even watch the first one all the way through because, as you know, Ryan, I don't like to be spoiled. I like to go in blind as much as I can. That being said, I do love the posters. Creepy Duck design never misses with anything he does, especially Scream related. To see him as part of the promotion once again is really cool to see. I love the homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm looking at it right now and I just can't get over how awesome it looks. And it also begs the question, do we see Ghostface with a chainsaw this time? Because he had a shotgun in Scream 6, so maybe there's potential. I saw a lot of people talking pretty negatively about the full cast poster. I don't have one opinion or the other about it. It's a cast poster. It's cool that we have another one for Scream 7, but I am all in on the Creepy Duck poster. I think it's amazing.
You bring up a good point. I never thought about Ghostface using a chainsaw. That would be quite the homage.
It'd be cool to see. I mean, there's always options with Ghostface.
I do know that this town, Pine Grove, that there was a movie theater in the streets when they were filming. And I won't say anything else besides that, but I think that the poster was hinting at perhaps something. So I like that a lot. But Chris, thank you for what you said. So about the cast poster, how would you put it up against the other cast posters from Spyglass slash Paramount so far in this new era?
I mean, I'm very partial to 5 just because it was the beginning of a new era, and I have very fond memories from seeing it in the theater. I have a gigantic poster of it somewhere in this room. I just don't know where. It's rolled up somewhere. I mean, it's cool. I can understand why some people might have gripes with it, but I never really looked at it that closely to have one opinion or the other. Would I want it on my wall with my other Scream posters? Probably not, but let's see how good the movie is first.
Well, that's great. So, Chris, anything else since you haven't really been on to talk about Scream 7 in a while? Is there anything else you'd like to share about Scream 7 and the anticipation?
I am happy about 2 things. I love that Nev Campbell's back, of course. He's the OG, she's the GOAT. Um, but I'm also kind of happy that it took a while for this to be made. Obviously, there's been so many hiccups and roadblocks, but I think it was for the best. I didn't love the idea of a quick turnaround trilogy, like how it seemed to be with the first 2, because I'm a huge fan of the meta textual aspect of the franchise. And if you just turn the movies around so fast like that, you're not going to have a lot to say about the genre you're critiquing. So to wait a couple years is always beneficial for Scream. Yes, the trio and the original cast is getting older, but I mean, that's you get the new people in and you still have something to say. I'd rather have that be the case than just relying on fast turnarounds and people's attention spans.
Well, so in that respect, what do you predict the meta commentary is going to be here in Scream 7?
That's a really good question. And I wish I had a good answer for it, but unfortunately I don't. I think a lot of it might go into some of the toxic fandom that 5 touched on, but just in a different way. And that's just going off of how the franchise has been the last couple years since the release of 6. I think they're going to go into how fan bases can get divided and conflict can form from that. I mean, you know firsthand, Ryan, what I'm talking about. So I don't know how much elaboration is needed there.
Well, enough said is what I say. But
Yep.
no, I like your ideas. It'll be interesting to see their specific viewpoint. For me, I kind of hope that there is like enough to differentiate it, whatever it is,
Absolutely.
from 5 and 6, because I think that we can all agree commentary, if you want to call it that, for Scream 6 was pretty lackluster. And it's just, oh, we're in a franchise, kaboom, and we're never going to talk about it again. I hope that like whatever it is, there's actually point and like a real meaning behind it, and people can walk away from Scream 7 and be like, oh yeah, that is right, that is something that actually happens out in the world. I kind of think that it's going to be more than just toxic fandom. I think there's going to be something that we haven't really thought about that relates back to Sydney, the movie that we're getting right now, in terms of returning to her, something along those lines. But I think it's going to be, I would hope that it's strong, because otherwise, people are going to feel not satisfied by the killer and the motive if there isn't something like Jill kind of, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. This might be the first Scream film that I'm excited about, more so with the plot than the meta commentary, because of the fact that Sydney was out of Scream 6 and time has passed since then. What's her character going to be like? What's her surrounding compound, so to speak, going to be like? I'm really curious about the narrative side more so than the commentary side. And I can pretty confidently say that that's the first time I've ever gone into a Scream movie like this.
Well, I think that that's really on point, and I think that more than any Scream movie, probably since the original trilogy, is going to be about character and the story, like in like the relationship. I think that at least for the past 3 sequels, they each had something different going on, and
Yeah.
this is going to be so heavy on like the strength of the character. It just reminds me so much of H2O and like how that movie balances so much on the shoulders of Jamie Lee and her storyline. I think it's going to be very similar with Scream 7, and I think that's why Scream 7 is going to have legs and really be something that fans look to for richness over the years.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, Mr. Dead Noise, please tell everybody where they can find you and et cetera, et cetera.
So I'm Chris, aka Mr. Dead Noise. I can be found on social media at Dead Noise Blog. I talk about horror movies and rock music. Lately, it's been more music focused, but I'm trying to change that this year. I want to go back into more horror based content and interviews. I've got a bunch of music interviews coming up. A bunch that are already recorded, just need to be uploaded. And to keep up with me, you can find me at Dead Noise Blog on Twitter and Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. All right, I'm heading over now to the person who signed into this Zoom as Ghostface. And I saw that pop up on my screen. I was like, who is this? But then I was like, it's probably Hoodie. And it was. Everyone, please welcome Hoodie. How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. How y'all doing?
Good, good.
Yeah, so I got a new PC. So when I signed it, it made me re-sign into Zoom, and I forgot that I didn't change my name back. So that's why it still goes.
Well, so Hoodie, how's it going? I know we've had some disappointing returns when it comes to thinking the trailer's coming and it doesn't come. Where do you stand, my friend?
I think on the poll I voted, I'm fine with not getting another one. But I mean, I wouldn't mind another one. I just, like I said on the first one, I just hope they don't show a lot, like the way Scream 5 did.
Do you think that the first trailer showed a lot?
At first, I thought so with the opening, but at the end of it, I think you said on the episode Sunday, they did the same thing in 5, where they showed Tara at the beginning. So after thinking about it, no, I don't think it showed a lot.
Well, and see, like that's the thing. Like I actually, if you look at the length of the trailer in Scream 5 versus Scream 7, they showed, I think, like the opening scene, we're assuming, right, of the Mocker house.
Hmm.
It's only like 30 seconds in the Scream 7 trailer versus Tara. It almost goes to the full 1 minute mark. So we see a lot less of the Mocker house than we did of Tara. So, you know, it's all right. But what have you thought of the posters that we've gotten?
I like them. I think this is one of the better ones out of the 3 we've gotten. Character poster one. I just love that Sydney, her daughter, and Gail are the main like 3 big ones in the poster. And it was funny because I put the picture into like ChatGPT and said, take out the killer. And of course, it takes out the pictures of Ghostface because he's the killer. I was like, no, take out the person you think is going to be the killer. And it took out Gil. I was like, yeah, okay, that's not happening.
That's funny. Oh my God. Oh, and everybody, just so you know, if you're listening or if you're just here on the Zoom, next month we are doing Scream 7 predictions. It's going to be on Monday, I think, February 16th. So we're going to have like a contest. And whoever is closest to correct, you'll get a prize from me. To be determined, but it won't be lame. I promise. I will not be sending you a Scream with Ryan C. Showers shirt. No, so, make sure you have like your predictions ready. Get your mind going here for the next time we meet. But so in terms of what ChatGPT said or AI, it's interesting. We're talking about the meta commentary. This idea of AI has also been floated around as a theme of Scream 7. Hody, what are your thoughts on the meta commentary?
I just love how Scream's always like on top of like, like 5 did toxic fandom, and then, toxic fandom happened, and then you had the originals that pretty much talked about what it ended up happening. So I think now the AI is pretty much taken over with a lot of things, which is ruining like creativeness for some people. I feel like they're touching it, so it's like they know what they're talking about. I just feel like Stu's not alive. I feel like it's just going to be AI.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that we're talking about this because like I have read some news articles and like just heard some predictions from like technology reporters talking about AI and how they kind of are starting to be a little more bullish on the idea that AI is going to pop. Like there's an AI bubble that's going to pop and that it's not really going to have the impact we assumed that it was based on how all these like corporations pitch the idea of like, we're going to save so much money using AI and get rid of all these employees, that's actually not going to materialize, or at least materialize in the same way. So I actually think Scream 7 is coming at such a sweet spot because we haven't hit the AI bubble yet, but it's still a fear in everyone's minds. And even look at you, you're even trying to predict the Ghostface killer using AI. So it's all very weird. It's all very incestuous.
It was just funny because I seen everybody like using it, so I was like, no, let me see if it can predict a killer. And when it took out Gale, I was like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about.
I don't use AI, so I don't know how to anything about like that kind of stuff. But I think it's very funny that it would pick Courtney Cox. But I mean, in fairness, she is at the center of the poster and she's bigger and she looks, what did the kids say, cunty? So I mean, that's a joke. But anyways, so Huddy, anything else you want to share about these posters or any of the marketing or TV spots?
No, I do feel like they're not promoting it enough, but I feel like they're like it's enough to the point where it's like getting me ready for the movie. But at the same time, I was like, I hope they're not doing enough. That makes sense. Kind of like Scream 4, where they didn't really do any promotion for the movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want too much. So the point is like I know everything is about to happen before the movie comes out.
And like that was something that was criticized with Scream 6 by a lot of people, that Scream 6 did too much marketing and it was overwhelming. They probably spent just as much money marketing the movie as they did on the budget for the production of Scream 6, which that's suspect. That's a red flag. But, I think we're still a little bit of ways away. I think if it's the same way in a month where it's kind of radio silent, no pun intended, then I'll be concerned. But I think that they don't want to like blow, all of their gunpowder now, more than a month away. I think that the important thing, I think, is just to make sure that the general audiences, I think we need to reach those people to really make the movie a success.
Yeah. And also, I think once February hits, we'll get all like the character posters and like the single ones. And then it's funny that I've seen a lot of people say that it's not doing enough marketing to like the like Scream fans the way we are. But I think it is, because I had family members that are not really as big as Scream fans as I am. And they're like, hey, you want to go watch the movie with us? And we're looking forward to Sydney's back. I was like, oh, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's like, they know what they're doing.
So get this. I was at one of my wineries in Virginia that I go to. I was there over on MLK Day, and someone came up to me and recognized me from the podcast and came up and said, "I'm so excited to see Scream 7." So, but yeah, so that's very fun. And I think that everyone is just especially stressed, especially anxious. It's been an emotional 2 years, and we just all want this movie to pay off. And I think that is kind of feeding into the anxiety that people have and like the demands that people have, like, give us a trailer right now. Why is the trailer coming? Where is the trailer? Like, I'm so excited for a day where I don't have to talk about the Scream 7 trailer because I just feel like I need a cigarette after these conversations, but it's going to be good. So, okay, character posters. Do we think that they could come on, say, the anniversary of Scream 3? That would be a cool timing.
Yeah, they could. I mean, that's when you could start rolling them out. I mean, I don't think they should wait till like the last week before to bring everything. I think it should, like, once February hits, like, start dropping stuff throughout the weeks and stuff.
So cool. Hoodie, please tell everybody where they can find you online.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Hoodie Season. You can follow my podcast at Hoodie Talks Pod on all the socials. And I've finally put my first YouTube video up on Hoodie Talks Podcast.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go now over to my friend Tarek. I'm so excited he's here.
It's been a while, man. I haven't been here forever.
Yeah. It's the last thing that I think we recorded was your big episode about how to fix Scream 6.
Correct.
Do you think we're going to have to make a sequel to that called How to Fix Scream 7?
I hope not.
Yeah, I would be crying if that's the case. So Tarek and I have talked, and I would like to do an episode after Scream 7 comes out and kind of answer the question of how to fix Scream 6. Like, did Scream 7 fix Scream 6, in particular with Gale Weathers? Like, was Gale Weathers recuperated, resuscitated, brought back to life after Scream 6? Or at least was her narrative integrity and story restored? So I think that will be a fun episode.
I agree. And so far, Scream 7 is doing so good with Gale, with her being front and center on the poster.
Yeah. This is what I expected. It's so funny because, like, for the Scream 6 poster, I expected Gale's placement to be where her placement is in the Scream 7 poster. I expected her to be in the middle, and instead they gave us, like, the side to side with the mirror image of Kirby. So again, another red flag of Scream 6,
Yeah, you would think that since it takes place in her home, New York City, that she should get a plot B storyline, but no.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad. But, I want to just kind of pose this to you, Tarek. So we got a huge Gale Weathers action scene in Scream 6, and that was pretty much all they had her do. And they sacrificed a lot of story for her. Where do you stand with Scream 7? Would you be okay with the trade of just getting, like, let's just say that they don't give Gale a big action moment, that it's all just story and mystery and the investigation and her relationship with Sidney? Would you be okay with that?
Absolutely. I feel like she will get a action scene, but, like, you know me, I always prefer story, plots, character development over hype moments, set pieces.
Yeah. Well, Tarek, you are one of my favorite people to go to for, like, when I need to be shady, when I need to be petty. It's like, who can I go to? Scroll Tarek. Or it's like Tarek sends me a direct message, not in the group. It's like, ooh, what's this? It has to be something fun. Click. Oh, it's shade. Love it.
Yeah, every time I get a chance to bash Scream 6, I'm going to.
My friend Jacob today from the Happy Horror Time podcast, I was like, well, what do I do? Should I say this? And he's, just be yourself. Just be mean. I was like, all right. Thank you for that advice.
Yeah, life is too short to be easily offended. Let's have fun.
Exactly. So, Tarek, what do you think the marketing so far?
I would say so far, to be honest, before today, so far lackluster, but then they started doing the whole, paying homage to classic horror franchises, which they did, if not mistaken, in Scream 6 marketing with the whole, like, sick poster with Scream 6. And I guess to see what's coming up in the next few weeks. But like so far for the general audience, I'm like, we need more.
Yeah. You know what I think there should be? I think there should just be like huge posters of like Nev versus Ghostface. Kind of like think like the Halloween Ends poster of like Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Myers back to back. That's what I want to see. Every city, every landmark. That's all I want is Nev, Ghostface back to back, 30 years, caption. That's what we need, I think, to sell and market this movie.
I agree. And also I remember last time with Scream 6, they did some like you can just insert someone's phone number into this like app and Ghostface will call them. So like that was pretty cool. So hopefully for Scream 7 we get something similar, like a FaceTime kind of video call with Ghostface or something like that.
Or even better, let's just up the ante, okay? What if it's like a choose your own adventure and like you get the FaceTime call and let's just say it's an AI of Stu Macher or Roman Bridger or Dewey. I don't know.
Mhm.
Thoughts?
Pretty cool, especially for Stu. Yeah, I would love that.
Well, because those are the 3 returning cast members that have been confirmed thus far, and we're assuming are AI, so I think that could be cool. But I want the movie to do well. I think we all really, really want it to do well. I have to ask you a question. I'm looking at the crowd, and like I need like somebody who dislikes Scream 6 as much as I do. Are you going to be let down if Scream 7 does well, but let's just say it doesn't overcome the hump of what Scream 6 did at the box office? So if Scream 7 doesn't clear 44 million opening, even if let's just say it makes 40 million, which is a huge deal, that would be more than its budget. Would you be bummed if it comes in under Scream 6? Or do you think that we should just focus on the positive of making money?
You could go with the quality of the movie versus the box office success. I care more about a good movie making a bit less compared to a mid movie making a lot more.
Yeah.
Because it sends a message to Hollywood.
And what you're saying is too, like the quality movie will stand the test of time and will be remembered. And that's kind of like I was thinking about it this weekend. Like I was thinking like, where is my focus? Like whenever I think of Scream and how do I promote Scream and like talk about Scream, I'm not just thinking about it in terms of the moment, like what's getting the clicks right now. I want people to take away things that I say on the show or other people say on the show and topics we do on the show, not for the moment, but for a lifetime, and to see and invest in these movies forever and have the legacy and the impact, not just because like look at Scream 6. I mean, and look at that legacy. It's going to be very different from a legacy of Scream 7 possibly. So
Yeah, I agree because a good friend of mine, he loves Scream 6 so much. I don't understand. He keeps saying that he loves Ghostface with a shotgun.
Yeah.
And I told him and asked him, hey, if there is no scene with Ghostface with a shotgun, will you still enjoy this movie? And he had to think about it for a second. So it tells me, yeah, you care more about the hype moments
Mhm.
versus the other films. We have, of course, the character development, the storylines, and just everything you say in the podcast episodes, which just opened my eyes to things I didn't see before. But with Scream 6, do we really get that? I'm trying to remember if we do.
the answer to the question is no. So I was trying to think of a funny Ghostface quote and it escaped me. Anyways, but so what did you think of the cast poster?
Okay, so here's a hot take. I
no.
do enjoy it.
Okay.
Upgrade to 6, but I prefer 5.
No, I
Yeah.
mean I get that. I like the poster for 5. I like the blue. I vividly remember when that poster dropped, how much I thought it was just the greatest thing of all time. I mean, maybe that was just like the moment, but because Nev looks great, David looks great, the house looks great, the blue color I really love. I don't think that's a hot take.
I guess you can tell that Scream 7's poster was inspired by 5. It's pretty much the same thing besides the tint from blue to orange. I don't know, like with 6 poster, I know I keep dragging on 6, but it just looks like a last minute assignment. Meanwhile, 5 and 7, you can tell that they at least, they cared.
Yeah, there was some planning and thought that went into balancing the poster really well, I think. Yeah. Do you like the idea of or the theme of this movie right now? That burn it all down, the flames and
I think it's getting more Halloween Kills vibes, but like I do love the theme, like burn it all down. To me, it's like saying, forget the past, we're going forward. No more Billy, no more nostalgia bait. I mean, of course there will be, but not as, forced or obvious.
well, and the thing about the poster too is I love this new tagline, which is fear hits home, because that's what the movie's about. It's about what's hitting home for Sydney, which is her family, Tatum. Just like, wow, you nailed it. You nailed it.
And that's why I want a H2O style fan made poster because that's so H2O.
You mentioned that in the chat. So let's just play the what if game here to round out before we move on. So how would it go? So Sydney is in the Laurie place, and then we have Michelle Williams. Who's next? Who would you put as Michelle Williams?
I would put Tatum.
Duh, makes sense. Okay, what about LL Cool J?
I guess maybe Mark or Chad.
Okay, both of them work. So then we have Jody something. What was her last name? The girl who plays like the goth girl who likes.
What are you talking about? But I
Mhm.
forgot the actress, but the character's name is Sarah in the movie.
So we have Sarah and John.
Gail has to be there. So yeah, Gail.
Okay, and then whoever, I guess, like we have either Chad or Mark up there with as John. I think that works.
I know. I love Chad and Mark. I don't know him, so Chad.
Are you nervous about this Mark? About meeting this Mark?
I'm not nervous. More like they keep showing him getting attacked in the trailers, TV spots. I'm like, he's not gonna die.
Also, just like, they're really emphasizing that Sidney Prescott married a beta man, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But it's so funny seeing John McHale like in this role because I just know him from Community. He just brings more alpha energy, but in this movie, maybe beta energy. He's a good actor, so I believe in him because I remember when he got casted last year. I was just like, oh, interesting. We'll see.
I want to see their love. I want to feel their love. I want to understand why Sydney chose him of all the people in the world, why she chose to trust him. That's really important to me.
He could be in Derek to Sydney because Derek was pretty much a goofball at times as well in the movie. So maybe
Singing on the cafeteria table, exactly.
maybe that's how he proposed to her.
Maybe. I like what we're putting down here. So, well, Tarek, any final thoughts?
I just can't wait for a new Scream movie. And I can't wait to share my opinions and thoughts about it with you guys after.
Me too. I'm going to miss living in this space where we don't have the movie and we can just talk about it and we can talk about like what it means to Nev and to Kevin and the what if and like, because then we're going to have the movie soon. And then there's this period is going to be over where, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. And this one more thing I want to ask you, Ryan. I know you want a trilogy, but would it be cool if Scream 7 being so good that it's the last one for at least for a good 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, I would be fine with it. I want this to be an amazing movie, and if it is like kind of more of an ending statement, I'm fine with that. But I feel like Nev is just the perfect age to really do another storyline with her, and do another storyline with Sydney, and I would love to see that materialize. But after H2O, we got Resurrection. Who knows,
That's
right?
true. That's very true. So let's go with the path that give us the best way to continue Sydney's story.
Yes.
Or end her story.
Yeah. I think this has to be a complete awesome story for us to even talk about the trilogy. It's just fun to hypothesize about the idea of it and like to think about what could come next with all the potential, from 7. So it all just depends.
It depends. Yeah, I agree.
So last question for Tark. Let's just say, do we think that it matters if Mark dies in terms of 7 as the final movie or 7 as the beginning of the trilogy?
For the beginning, he has to live. Maybe in the middle or the final chapter of the trilogy, she could die. But at the same time, I want my girl Sydney to be happy. I want her husband to die.
Yeah. Well, we were actually talking about Thanksgiving too in the group chat the other day because Eli Roth has talked about how it's really hard for everyone to get their schedules in line to do it. And I, of course, weighed in and said, well, we all know who this is about, meaning Patrick Dempsey. If Joel McHale dies, she could have another Mark if Patrick Dempsey got his shit together. But, I highly doubt it.
Yeah, but Mark can come later. Like Mark and Kate can come later in the series. Maybe not as Sydney's love interest, but as a detective on the case.
Yeah, as a helper. Yeah. Well, Tarek, it was wonderful to see you. Please tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Evans Tarek and on Instagram TPEvans_.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to head over now to my friend Sarah Campbell. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited to be here.
I'm glad. It's nice to see you. So what are your thoughts on everything marketing as it pertains to Scream 7?
So you know me, I always have a positive and I always have a negative.
Okay.
So my positive, I love that TV spot. I wish that TV spot was the teaser. I wish I hadn't seen a trailer and I saw that first. It got me so excited. I liked it more than the trailer, which I was a little lukewarm on anyway. But it was perfect. It hit the nostalgia. It hit the excitement for the new one. It definitely reminded me of H2O. Like, come on. You have Sydney's daughter being the same age she was when she was attacked. You have all of those sketches on her wall, like you see in Marion's office in the opening of H2O. Like it was perfect. I watched that thing probably 6 times.
I'm glad that you bring up the sketches on the wall in H2O. That was the first thing I thought of. I was like, Mwah.
It was so good. And like, yeah, I will say I was a little bummed when we got the first trailer. I thought it was kind of generic, but I understood that, they have to mass market that thing. So I really felt like the TV spot was like for us, like the OG fans, like we got something special.
The TV spot shows Sydney and Gail going to this mental institution. We see the outside of it, and then we see both of them inside of the mental institution, looking like they're inside someone's room. What are your thoughts on that? That's something very, very new for Scream.
I kind of feel like we're being a little catfish, like they're trying to build the excitement that they're visiting like a returning character. Because there's obviously been lots of hints at Stu. There's been a lot of theories about Jill. So I feel like that's kind of feeding into it, but it's probably not who we're going to see.
It's probably going to be Sydney and Gail investigating together, which they've never done before. Gail investigated with Jennifer. She always investigated with Dewey. And no, I don't consider what they do in Scream 5 as investigating. They're more so just in transit to the house.
Yeah, they're showing up.
They're investigating together. They're acting like partners.
Yeah, that's really exciting because we really don't get a lot of screen time in general with just the two of them unless it's in like the final act and everything's like kind of chaotic. So it'll be nice, especially if this is closer to the beginning.
And that's the thing. Like, I think so many Scream fans would love it if Scream would just give us Sydney and Gail together for more than just, the chaotic moments.
I completely agree. So yeah, the TV spot got me super excited. It like kind of reinvigorated me, and I don't really need a second trailer now because of it.
Well, there you go. We've had so far everyone else been like, no new trailer. Just we're fine.
Yeah. And then I guess the thing I didn't love so much about the marketing, and it sounds so like boring, but I didn't like that character poster. Like at the end of the day, I don't have really negative or positive feelings towards it, but it just felt really lazy. It was a copy of 5, but they had way too many people on it. And if everybody's important, nobody's important. I'm like, who am I supposed to care about? And it's just the house on fire. So they're also like Photoshop to the high heavens. Like they almost look like little AI caricatures. Like I just didn't like it. I'm like, really? They've done so many other cool things. I'm like, they couldn't just give us a little something special? Like the knife with the mask and 4. That was awesome. You know me, I'm not a 6 person, but the Subway, like promo materials, those were great. And now even like the creepy duck stuff is fun. So I get they need like kind of a generic poster to put up at your theaters and like mass market it. But I'm like, you literally just use the template from 5. Like, give us a little more.
Right. Yeah. No, and I think that's just a symptom, unfortunately, of the time that we live in terms of like how movie posters are done today and like the volume of characters that are on it and just it's the Marvelification of cinema and all movie posters.
It's just a bunch of Star Wars posters. That's what they all look like now. It's just big head in the back, little heads everywhere, so much airbrushing, except we don't have like the cool fact that like the Star Wars posters were hand painted. This just kind of looks like AI swap.
Oh my gosh. Well, anything else you want to share about the marketing so far?
Yeah, because I don't want to end on like a negative, complaining note, but I was a little annoyed at the beginning that we weren't getting a lot, but I think that's actually helping me be more excited for it because I don't feel like I have marketing fatigue. I'm at a perfect point now where I'm like, I've seen just enough. I don't really want to see new footage because I don't want to get into theorizing about more things that I haven't thought of yet. Like this is probably as close to going in kind of blind as I can get. Yeah, I'm in like a really happy place. Like I haven't been excited for Scream since like we were excited for 5. So This will be good.
Yeah, I have to echo what you just said. January has been a fun month for me, for the podcast. It just, in terms of like how I'm seeing the community and how I'm seeing Scream, it just feels like it's been a long time since we've been in this place. And like, I probably would say like, I agree with you. Like this is the best that's felt as a Scream fan since Scream 5, like leading up to Scream 5. But this time it's like, Scream 5, there was a lot of innocence and a lot of like naivete. And like now it's like, we've earned this great movie after being through kind of seeing the best of times and the worst of times. So it just feels like, the podcast, the community, the fandom, we're all in a really good place. So I love it.
Yeah, 100%. I love it.
Cool. Sarah, please tell everybody where they can find you online.
Yeah, I'm only on Instagram. It's my name, Sarah Campbell, or sar.campbell. I don't really do social media, but if you want to come hang out and look at pictures of me going to concerts and eating food, like come on over.
Sarah has great pictures, by the way. She is like, if I was hiring someone to like take photos of like an event for me, I would choose her.
Thanks, you're sweet.
From one queen of Sarah Campbell to my Scream queen down here, Josh.
Hey, Ryan.
How is my favorite Nev fan?
Doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So what are your thoughts here on everything marketing?
I'm liking the slow rollout, and that being said, I read it might even been something in that someone posted on your Twitter, but that we're actually getting things a lot earlier than the last 2 previous Scream movies.
Mhm.
So for everyone that's, a little worried that we're not getting as much promo, things are rolling out earlier than they had previously. I'm loving the posters, the TV spots. I especially love the creepy duck poster today with the Texas Chainsaw reference. I'm loving all the fire motifs in the posters. Yeah, there's a lot of heads in that last cast poster, but I kind of like it. It's kind of fun to zoom in and see who everybody is and then be like, well, they're not in the trailer. And that's also something to look forward to, that there's so many characters on the poster that we haven't even seen in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's
Can I just say, like, I agree with Sarah that there are a lot of people, but I
yeah.
feel like what you're saying too is what I'm getting from you is like, I think that the people on the poster, there are a lot, but I don't mind it because I actually think they're well placed and well positioned and everything seems kind of balanced. It doesn't feel like things were thrown on like slop. I think that there was some thought put on into like where a person was going. What are your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, I agree. And it has me wondering, like, well, who's that? Who's this little person? And I know a lot of the actors and who they're, what has been reported via Twitter, and nothing substantiated who they're supposed to be. But yeah, it's kind of exciting to finally get like a little glimpse of all these characters that we haven't seen in a trailer or the TV spot yet. And then also the fact that they've left some people off, like, the people in the Mocker House Airbnb aren't on the poster. And so I'm like, what does that mean? Why aren't they on there even though they're front and center on the trailer? Yeah, it has me just kind of excited, all the questions it's given.
So, what are your thoughts on the photos here, Nev Campbell, Isabel, and Courtney? They're the biggest photos. They're probably the most widely circulated now on social media with other fan posters or just, them being showcased. Are you happy with this photo shoot of Nev? Is basically my biggest question.
Yeah, I like the positioning of it. I like that it's the 3 of them. I like that it's the mother-daughter, and then Gail anchoring in the middle. Yeah, no, I like it. I think they look fine. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of airbrush for sure, but I like what they're going for. And
Mhm.
again, like I said, I'm one of those weirdos. I love fire in movies. I think it always brings so much production value, and it just looks really great cinematically.
Mhm.
And so I like how they're using it on the posters as well.
Do you think that we'll see any fire after the opening scene?
I wonder, but probably not. I think
Yeah.
it seems to be maybe only that scene, and then I'm also wondering, is that gonna be the opening scene? There that also I've been reading some theories, which I'm not gonna throw out there, but maybe it's not the opening scene. So, yeah, I mean, I would hope maybe they, especially with the tagline that they keep throwing out there, "Let's burn it down," that maybe there's gonna be more, but I don't know what more you can do than burning down the Mocker house, so
Right.
that's probably it, would be
Yeah.
my guess.
What did you think of any of the new footage from the TV spot?
I like that we finally got a glimpse of the mental institution. I'm wondering what's going on with the clip that's supposedly been merged with Nev and Courtney, where it's apparently not from the same moment. I'm like, what are they hiding there? I'm liking that we're getting the sketches of whoever I guess they're seeing in the institution, and like what's that's all gonna mean. Who's
Mhm.
sketching it? Dude, how is that gonna fit into the plot, or who the killer is? I did like the TV spot. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I liked how they threw in references to the older movies. We got to see SMG in there for a second, so that I did like that, and how they we're mentioning, we're bringing it back. Like, this has been going on for 30 years. Every call, every killer is leading to this moment. I like that aspect of it. Back in the day, I can remember when like Scream 3 came out, even Scream 5, like over analyzing it, even with Scream 5 being like, Dewey's going to die. Gail wouldn't be screaming for anybody other than Dewey like that, So I try to just watch it once or twice and then not think too much about it, or yeah, I get in my head about it. I had, like I said, I guessed Dewey was gonna die, and I was right,
Do
which I'm
you
sure a lot of people guessed that from the trailer.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the fact that we saw this, like, new logo in the TV spot that kind of mirrors or references the Scream 1 logo at the very beginning of like the flashing screen before Casey Becker picks up the phone.
I love that because we haven't seen it since Scream 1.
Mhm.
And it was, I think, out of the whole series, the only time we got the logo before the movie started. All of them now have been after the opening kill sequence. So I'm almost wondering if they'll do something with that with this one, like have the logo before we get into the actual movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know, but I did appreciate them bringing that back in, and I liked how it morphed into the 7 logo.
What would be your preference?
Well, I guess ultimately it wouldn't really matter because it would hit as hard regardless. And it does make sense, to have the titles card come up after the first kill or the opening sequence. But maybe it's just like an homage to the first. It would be kind of cool to see that. Maybe even with the weird screaming that you hear in Scream 1 before we flash to Drew reaching for the phone.
Mhm.
Yeah, love that. Love that detail.
Well, Josh, is there anything else you'd like to share from the Scream Queens podcast corner of the world here about the Scream 7 marketing?
Well, not necessarily. You guys were talking about like maybe what the meta theme would be of this one, and I wonder if it's going to be playing on the Jamie Lee Curtis coming back to Halloween, like kind of going back to basics with the original Final Girl and what she has to confront ultimately with her past, yada yada. I'm wondering if that's going to have something to do with it. Yeah, I really don't know where they're going, or if AI and technology is going to be the whole point. Yeah, that's kind of exciting to think about. Like, what are they going to do?
I think that I would love the idea of Mindy giving a speech about how important the final girl is or the original final girl. We'll have to see. So, well, Josh, thank you so much for coming tonight. Please everybody where they can find you and our good pal Justine.
You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts under Scream Queens Horror Road Trip Podcast, and we're on all the socials pretty much under Scream Queen Podcast. On X or Twitter, it's podcast_queens, and yeah, we're everywhere. Come find us.
And Josh and Justine have recorded an episode with me about we're doing this new series. It's called The Battle of the Finales, and we did the Scream 1 versus Scream 2. You guys will be hearing that in the coming weeks.
That was a lot of fun.
And I'm excited to do the other finales, like 3 and 4. It's my catnip right there. But I would also I'm kind of planning on, I haven't told them yet, but they're going to do an episode with me about Sydney and in Scream 7 after we finally see the movie and get to digest it a little bit. They're huge Nev fans over there. And I feel like they'd be the perfect people to discuss. How did they deliver her?
I can't wait. That sounds amazing. I always love talking about Sydney and Nev.
Well, thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, let's go over now to my friend. Hey, Carrie, happy Dawson's Creek Day.
Happy Dawson's Creek Day. 28 years ago, the show premiered on the WB. Yeah.
So, Carrie, do you want to share with them about the Zoom that we did last year on January 20th, 2025?
Yeah, 27th anniversary last year, the time Ryan had never seen Dawson's Creek. We watched the pilot episode together via Zoom and recorded our, post reaction.
We that was fun because we actually sat down to do group Zoom like this, and then after everyone left, Carrie and I hopped on and watched Dawson's Creek. But that was fun. Thank you.
No problem.
So, Carrie, what are your thoughts here about all things marketing?
I'm kind of reserving judgment because I'm getting a little concerned that it's going to go the way of Scream 4, but I hope I'm wrong. I definitely hope I'm wrong. I hope they ramp it up and really start promoting in the weeks to come, which I think they will, but let's see.
So here's the thing about the Scream 4 of it all. So, in addition to the anxiety that we have about the transition from the Christopher Landon Scream 7 to the Kevin Williamson Scream 7, the drama that went on for the last 2 years and the meanness. In addition, another big elephant in the room is Scream 4. Scream 4 did not do well at the box office, and it is a lingering fear in everyone's minds, I think. We don't want this to be another Scream 4. And this is nothing new. I mean, in the lead up to Scream 5, this is all we talked about was the paranoia about, is this going to be another Scream 4? How do we avoid Scream 5 being Scream 4 again with the low box office return? There was this question about, is this just the new Scream standard? Was Scream just a moment in the 90s? Or, can it extend? What was the issue with Scream 4? So that has always been a part of the conversation since we've come back in this new era. I will say, I do think that Scream 4 was a fluke. I think that, like, when you look at the franchise, we've had 6 movies and 5 out of 6 of them were huge, massive box office hits. And even Scream 4, because when you factor in the international money, it didn't do so terribly. But I think that it's a valid concern. I think that we still have over a month to go to show that this isn't going to be a Scream 4.
Yeah, I don't wanna wait another 11 years for another Scream movie. I'm good with, like, 5 years.
And I think that part of the problem with Scream 4, right, was they were rebooting something that was kind of deceased, that was put to rest. And like we already did that with Scream 5, and Scream 6 wasn't that long ago. So that element, that block is out of the way. So now what we have to do is just sell the movie for what it is, or just get people to know, hey, come see the new Scream movie, you know?
Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought it up because it's always it's always something that people think about deep down. I think about it all the time. Like I'm like, I don't want this to be another Scream 4 because like here's the thing. Let's just say Scream 7 doesn't do well financially, or it comes in much lower than the others because of a lack of marketing or for whatever reason, or let's just say the boycott does work, which I don't think it will. You know who's going to get blamed for it and how it's going to really bum me out? It's going to be Nev Campbell. And people are going to say, see, we shouldn't have gone back to Sydney. We need new characters. And that will just like kind of break my Scream heart. I don't think I'll be able to get out of bed for a week if that happens. Everyone, please go see Scream 7 multiple times.
I'm already planning on it. You know my plans.
Well, Carrie, why don't you share what are your plans?
I was supposed to go to Florida, but that's not happening now because on Christmas Day I broke my foot. I was supposed to go to Florida. My friend and I, we've seen every Scream movie together since Scream 2. She's going to come up here, even though she had come up for the past 2 movies. We always see the first showing of the movie when it's out together. But she's coming up here, and then we're going to get like a hotel suite, and some other friends are going to join us, and we're going to be in a hotel across the street from a movie theater that's going to be playing it in IMAX.
IMAX. I am so excited to see it in IMAX. The first Scream movie ever to be in IMAX.
Yeah. Really excited.
Did you like the cast poster?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't like floor me or, but it was kind of like what I was expecting to see with the poster. It's kind of keeping in sync with the others. And blew me away, but it was cool to see.
Carrie, anything else you want to share about anything Scream 7?
I definitely hope it is, kind of in comparison to H2O because the 4th and 7th installments tend to be my favorite installments of a franchise. That goes with Halloween and I'm going to embarrass myself, Police Academy. Yeah, those are just like my favorites for some reason. And with Kevin being at the helm, this is his baby. This is what he gave birth to 30 years ago. So I have every confidence that he will keep the legacy going and what the original was meant to be. And I'm hoping there's some more new kind of fresh meta commentary. And I really miss the humor that the last 2 films have been lacking.
And smart humor. There's like
Yeah.
a specific Kevin Williamson-ism, a flavor of comedy that I think has been gone.
Yeah, no, just the witty dialogue. Like first movie is so quotable.
Last question. Are you salty, bitter that Kevin Williamson he'll have never directed a Dawson's Creek episode?
No, I mean, I was happy he came back and wrote the series finale.
Yeah.
So and he even admitted, I'll make a long story short, but he even admitted like recently that one of the characters that was a main cast member season 5 and 6, Busy Phillips' character, she was not in the finale. And he regrets that.
Yeah. Well, Busy Phillips, she was in Cougar Town with Courtney Cox. So
Yep.
it's just a web of Scream.
It all connects.
Well, Carrie, please tell everybody where they can find you online.
Mostly on Instagram these days, Carrie_Tenney, TENNEY.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Carrie.
Thanks.
Okay, let's go now over to Bria. Hey, Bria.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
So, Bria, tell me everything. What do you think about the marketing for Scream 7?
I absolutely love the TV spot. I loved how they included like all the movies before. And I like the cast poster. I thought they did use a lot of people, but I mean, I guess that's fine. And I like the poster that they put out today too. I thought it looked
Were you disappointed that Stu didn't make it on the poster?
not really, because we don't know his role yet.
Yeah.
So we don't know if he's dead or alive or it's like AI or whatever they're going to use him as. So no, I wasn't disappointed. It was just, it's a lot of people, but I guess that makes sense. So
Oh, cool. What did you think of Nev and Courtney and Isabel on the poster?
I loved it. I thought Courtney should have been with Nev and Isabel, but
Mhm.
I mean, her being in the middle, I mean, that's fine. So yeah.
Cool. Well, what did you like so much about the TV spot?
I loved them showing all like the different phone calls from the previous films and how it tied back into Sydney's daughter being her age as Sydney was in the original. So I think, yeah, that will be really interesting for them to do like in the film. So I like other people said kind of like H2O. So I think it'll be really cool.
Bria, anything else you want to share about Scream 7 here?
I mean, I think we still have a little over a month until it comes out. So I think we're going to get a lot more marketing. I don't know if I want a second trailer because I've watched the first trailer like I don't know how many times at this point. So like I don't really want to know like a lot about the film. So maybe just like some cast posters and that I think that should be good, honestly.
Well, I think, folks, we have a consensus here from the people who've been on the panel tonight. The fans they don't want another trailer. They're happy with the way that it is, which is fine. So the 50% of no votes came tonight, not the 50% of yes votes. But, it's fine because it's like, I get what you're saying. And honestly, I think that you can do a lot with just taking that first trailer, making some TV spots, throwing in some new footage like we did with the TV spot here and the character posters. Besides Sydney and Gail, who is the character poster that you're most excited to see?
Probably the twins.
Yeah.
The twins and probably Isabel May.
The vibes around Mindy in Scream 7 are really good. People who have previously criticized her, didn't like her in Scream 6. I get messages all the time being like, "Oh my gosh, Mindy looks so good in Scream 7. I can't wait to see her."
Yeah, I think with Kevin writing a lot of the script, I think Mindy's going to be written a lot better and people are going to like her more. So
Yeah.
excited to see her.
So I'm just going to be the basic bitch again that I am every episode. I'm going to bang this drum until we get the movie. I'm excited to see Anna Camp's character poster. I'm sorry. There was a video of her signing a Ghostface like Funko Pop or something on the street that was on Instagram. I posted it. And she's so nice. It was just the sweetest thing. I can't wait to see her, in Pitch Perfect. She's Aubrey. So I can't wait to see Aubrey's rule here in the world of Scream.
Yeah, I honestly sometimes forget that she's in Scream 7 and I also like love Pitch Perfect and that's such a comfort movie. So I'm really excited to see her and I honestly think she may be Ghostface, but I don't want to speculate.
Well, if she is Ghostface, I know that it's a very an obvious pick of her to be Ghostface, but I think that regardless can be fun and exciting, even if it's somewhat predictable. So I think we're just lucky to have someone like her in this role. And it's interesting because if you look back at the history of Scream 7, Carrie Russell was attached at one point, or at least she was rumored to be. Judy Greer was rumored to be, and then they ended with Anna Camp. So I can't help but wonder, these women who are kind of around the same age, even Judy Greer, and a part of me wonders, is this true? Is this trajectory from Carrie Russell to Anna Camp and Judy Greer? Part of me thinks that maybe they were true. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought like Judy Greer, that would be really interesting if she was in it because she was in the newest Halloween trilogy.
Not that Anna Camp's character is Ghostface. I'm not saying that. Let's just say that, you said that that's part of your prediction. Like Judy Greer played a Ghostface kind of in a Wes Craven movie called Cursed. She was like the werewolf, or she had like a big reveal, a monologue. It would have been a nice homage there. And had it been Carrie Russell, I probably would have lost my shit. I mean, I love Anna Camp, don't get me wrong, but Carrie Russell, she's like, I love her so much. Well, could have, would have, should have. So, well, Bria, thank you so much for coming. And let's now go over to my friend, Allie. Hey, Al.
Hey, happy to see everybody.
So, Allie, what are your thoughts on all of the marketing?
I really like what we've seen so far. Honestly, I loved the first trailer that we got. I love that, the trailer for 5 gave me I was just happy that the series was back, right? The trailer for 6 gave me that kind of fear almost. It was it really upped the stakes, right? You had the scene, the clips in the bodega and the shrine and the aged mask. And so that was the first time that I was actually a little bit scared to go see the movie, right? The trailer that we got, the first trailer for this, I was so fucking excited. I don't know if it's just the energy that Kevin has brought back, having Nev back, having Gail and Nev together. It just I had goosebumps. I was pumped. I thought it was the perfect amount. The only watched the TV spot twice, and it was once with sound and once without. Because the first time I was watching it, I think I was doing something at work, so I let it play without sound. And I was like, that's interesting. I love the clips of the calls, the OG logo, which I think it's perfect. I think it's great that they used it again as like Kevin's coming home. That was great. I didn't really want to watch it too many times, and I am team no second trailer. I think part of the problem is like with the poster, like yeah, we get to see like the people, like obviously we know who's been announced as cast, right? And we get to see them on the poster. Main reason I don't want another trailer is because I don't want to see footage of the people that we haven't seen yet, because that's just going to lead to too much like speculation. Like it is, it's so easy to say like, the footage between both trailers that we've seen of Mark, where it looks like, oh fuck, he's going to get it, right? Like it could go either way, right? Like we've seen things that happen that haven't, come to fruition or whatever. We've certainly seen people survive worse, right? So I don't think that I don't want to see anything else, like I don't want another trailer. I love the teaser poster with the knife and the house and the reflection of the knife was like chef's kiss. But I also really loved the teaser trailer for 6 with the subway door. Like I thought that was really great. And I mean, we've seen with editing of trailers in the past, like with 6 and them on the subway, editing is everything. And, like when that movie, like when we were sitting there watching the movie and it was like, wait a second, this isn't how it looked in the trailer. Why is she in a different car? I think that, I did see that post about I didn't watch the whole video, but I saw like the speculation of some clip of Gail and Sydney where it looks like they might be merged. I think it seemed like I saw a video that said that it could be the same kind of scenario of her and Tatum in the walls, that may not be exactly kind of what it looks like either. So I think it's just, more trailers means more speculation and theories. And I don't want to get into any of that, and I certainly, like 5, don't want to be spoiled too much. So, I mean, you saw when the TV spot came out, I asked you, hey, can I watch this?
No, I love what you said about this being Kevin's homecoming. And like the thing about like that logo that we saw in the TV spot, it was so unexpected. Like I feel like, that's such an easy thing that's just hanging there, right? And like no one would have predicted that that's what we would have gotten in Scream 7 the movie, or Scream 7 even just this little TV spot. But it's so exciting, and it's the type of thing that gets like the real fan, like the butterflies in our stomach and our adrenaline pumping, and the true excitement,
Yeah, and I would definitely like to see them using both in the movie, because you get the title card in the beginning and then you get it again at the end. So I could definitely see them doing both, which would be great. Also, I love the creepy duck design poster. The simplicity of it is perfection. I also want to shout out, I know he's got a lot of numbers in his name. It's like RJ534201 or something like that on Instagram. He made the poster that has the big 7 slash, and the cast faces are in the 7. That one's been floating around. I really like that poster too. He does a lot of really great like fan artwork. He's made like prints and stuff. I've bought some stuff from him before. I liked his poster a lot too, and I think he definitely deserves some recognition. I know he's not, shared by the official Scream account or anything like that. But his poster was really beautiful too.
Yeah, he is awesome. I'm mutuals with him on Instagram, and I think his artwork is amazing. I try to share it whenever he does something. So I love that poster of the 7. I thought that was so creative. Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I think I think we will see an uptick in like the hype, especially once we get into February as kind of a countdown. Because then, you got to figure we're also going to see they're going to do a premiere, and there's going to be press, and there's going to be more interviews. And so I think it will be progressively harder to avoid stuff. I have it blocked on a lot of my stuff just because I don't want to see it. I had to block the hashtag on TikTok because of the haters and the people that are like, wow, we're going to boycott this, so here's some spoilers. And I was like, I'm not here for that. Like I'm not here for that negative energy. Like you're not going to ruin my vibes.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to stay very separated from that stuff, because I don't want to be spoiled. I'm genuinely excited for this movie. IMAX, fucking incredible. I'm going to be there. Like I don't even think like I'll see it in any other format. I just want to see it in IMAX every time.
Cool. Love that. I think what you shared, it's about the TikTok and the hashtag is like we need to keep it 100 on the land, the sea, and the sky.
Yes, the vibes. I would love to see them do an event. I think I've seen recently they're doing like Lord of the Rings, events and stuff like that. I would love to see two movies at a time or an all-day event leading up to, like a midnight premiere on that Thursday night or whatever, like where it's like I think I texted you. I was like, it's a stabathon, all 7 stabs back to back. I think that would be honestly like ingenious because they could even tie in like that, like clips of that from 4 as like hype for it. I think it'd be genius for them to do a marathon event.
Awesome. So I love what you kind of said. Like overall, I kind of took, if I could like summarize what you said in like one sentence, I feel like what you said is like, yes, the promotion looks great, but I don't want too much because I want to maintain a level of distance with everything so I can fully enjoy it as a fan in the moment after so much build up.
Right. And I get it because they are trying to draw people in. But to me, like the lack of stuff is also hype because it makes people question it more and like be more excited to see it when it actually comes out.
Yeah.
So I guess I can see like both sides of it. Yeah, I'm fucking excited, guys. I'm ready.
Awesome. Well, Al, please tell everybody where they can find you online.
I am Allie_cat_BSG on Twitter and the same name on Blue Sky, but with hyphens.
Thank you, Detective Wallace. All right. Well, everybody, let's now welcome Brett Janovich.
Well, I really enjoyed the TV spot. I kept it on I've been watching it on repeat. And I also love the aspects of that TV spot as well. Hearing Tatum's name mentioned after all these years, just hearing that iconic name again. It's amazing to hear that again. Haven't heard that since the Scream 4 deleted scene, which a lot of people don't mention a lot, but it was mentioned in Scream 4 just in a deleted scene.
At Pop Quiz, who said her name?
In which one?
In the deleted scene.
Oh, it was Dewey.
My sister, Tatum. Well, I love that you love the TV spot. Who are you most excited to see in Scream 7?
It's always going to be the iconic Scream Queen, Neve Campbell herself. I'm always going to be excited to see her again because I loved her. I finally binged The Lincoln Lawyer. Loved it. I loved that show so damn much. And just to see her back in Scream again, I love it for her. And also to see Anna Camp playing a different role from Pitch Perfect. I do love Pitch Perfect as well. I remembered watching, I don't know which one it was, but it was either 2 or 3. And that was back when I was at my aunt and uncle's. And she also loves Pitch Perfect too. So creepy duck designs and just that Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe. I just love that. Because I do love the 1974 film as well. But I do love how he designed it to be accurate to it. It just looks on point. And the iconic slash through the middle.
Brett, anything else you want to share?
I hope we do get a second trailer. I am one of those people that actually did vote yes on that. So, and I hope they keep the mystery vibe of the TV spot and the trailer and not spoil anything because they've been doing great so far, not spoiling anything. And that's what I love because it keeps the whole mystery of who is behind the mask because we don't know. And I would like it to stay that way. Like throw in small little clips like they did with the TV spot. Just throw in little small 1-second clips and that will be perfect.
I'm glad that you liked the posters and I'm glad that you voted yes. I mean, I voted yes. So, but no, it's nice. We heard a consensus tonight, but also we're hearing the other side too. And that's good.
And I will say even though I do love Scream 5, I do love a little bit of the Scream 5 poster, but the bottom part takes it out for me because you have Stu Marker's house, but then on each side of the house, there's a bunch of houses. His house is in the middle of nowhere. But with all the houses on the side, it makes to me, that one made no sense, but I do love how in this one, there's nothing on the side but trees.
Yeah.
Because that's what we saw in the original Scream was like, we saw the background, some trees here and there. It's perfect. I loved how the Scream 7 trailer looked because it's reminiscent of Halloween Kills a little bit. It gives me that Halloween Kills vibe. I mean, we all know this is like pretty much the Halloween of Scream.
Yep.
Well, Halloween H2O anyway.
Well, I love the comparison to Halloween Kills. I think that's very apt and correct. So we love that, Brett.
McKenna Grace and Scream 7 as well. I cannot wait to see Celeste O'Connor. Just because I do love Ghostbusters as well. And seeing these two in horror roles, I love it. It's so on point for them.
Well, I love that, and I really love your enthusiasm. And if we get a second trailer, Brett, you deserve the props for bringing it with the good voodoo.
Good voodoo.
I think that this opening scene, allegedly, of Scream 7 with the fire could be even better than Halloween Kills and how they use fire. I think this one's going to be orchestrated and kind of like put together as a directed piece a little bit better. But I love the scene in Halloween Kills. I really do. Thank you so much for coming. Please tell everybody where they can find you online.
You can find me on Facebook at Brett Allen Janovich. You can find me on Twitter, Scream4Fan14, and Instagram, Angel Allen J. And I hardly ever use Blue Sky anymore.
Well, everybody, thank you for joining me. We will see you next time.
All copyrighted material used or referenced in this show belong to their rightful owners and made possible by the Fair Use Act.
Number 3, never, ever, ever, under any circumstances say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back. Get another beer, you want one? Yeah, sure. I'll be right back!
Dear God, Ryan,